We all want our crush to reciprocate our feelings, but how can we tell whether they're into us or not? Discover the telltale signs that the feeling's mutual, from physiological responses to body language signals. Mirroring. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and this is totally true when it comes to signs that your crush likes you. We're talking about them copying your posture. Next time you're chatting with your crush, watch their body language closely. Not just that, but pay attention to your own too. Are they mirroring what you're doing? Obvious things to look out for are whether you're both crossing your legs in the same way, or if your arms are in the same position. Take a look at where your hands are and if they're copying you. They won't be doing this on purpose. It's a subconscious thing that we all do when we're attracted to someone. We switch our body posture to match theirs to signal that we're engaged and interested. It's called limbic synchrony, and it's a form of nonverbal connection that stretches all the way back to our time in the womb. Babies match their body functions and heartbeats to match their mothers. It can be done on purpose too. This usually happens in business meetings rather than romantic settings, but if your crush wants you to know they're interested, they'll deliberately mirror what you're doing. This is a proven technique to build rapport. However, chances are they won't even know they're doing it, so you can pick up on their true feelings by watching their posture. If you want to send them a signal about your true feelings, try subtly copying their body language. Eye contact. There's making eye contact, and then there's really making eye contact. Does it ever feel like your crush is gazing right into your very soul? Psychological studies have found that people look at those they like more than those they don't. That makes total sense. After all, if you like what you see, you're going to want to keep on looking, and people will look more at those they find attractive. But zone in on the direction of that gaze and you can learn even more. If someone is genuinely interested in what you're saying, they'll be looking right into your eyes. You've probably felt this yourself at various times. Sometimes it can get so intense you have to look away. However, maintaining eye contact is definitely a positive sign. But bear in mind that if your crush really doesn't want you to know that they want to be more than just friends, they might deliberately avoid making eye contact. They might even wear sunglasses in an attempt to disguise the fact that they're gazing at you. It's pretty confusing, right? But generally speaking, if there's lots of eye contact or none at all, then you're probably onto a winner. You can test this theory by gazing at your crush from across the room. If they turn and lock eyes with you, they're probably interested. If they avert their gaze, then not so much. Accidental touching. It's not just the way they look at you that signals their attraction, it's also the way they touch you. We've all heard about footsie as a flirting technique, and if your crush has ever accidentally stroked their foot against yours under the table, you might want to take that as a sign that they're into you. They might well do this on purpose when they're ready to show their true feelings, but it can also happen genuinely by accident. Their attraction to you could be acting like a magnet, pulling them towards you without their conscious thought. Some areas of the body also signal attraction more than others. An accidental brush of the hand or face is a big sign that they're attracted to you. In a field experiment carried out to establish the various meanings conveyed by different touching, the researcher discovered that the touching of hands and faces expressed the most intimacy. This works the other way too. You can show signs that you're interested with some subtle accidental touching, and studies show that when you touch another person, they become more attracted to you. So pay attention to how they respond. If you brush past their leg and they reciprocate, that's a great sign. If they immediately pull away, it might mean they're not interested. Of course, you always need to stay aware of consent and be respectful of your crush's personal space. Sweaty palms. Accidentally touching your crush's hands will also give you information about how they feel about you. Are their palms a bit moist? A sweaty palm is a classic sign that someone is nervous, but it's also a sign that the person is experiencing feelings of attraction. That's because of the love chemicals we release when we're attracted to someone. Certain chemical reactions take place inside our brains when we see someone we like. Researchers have used MRI scans to watch how the brain reacts when that person is looking at a photo of the object of their affection. And the scans have shown increased blood flow in the areas where there are lots of receptors for dopamine. This is known as the pleasure chemical, as it is associated with states of euphoria and happiness. High levels of this are also associated with norepinephrine, which is the chemical that excites us. It's a bit like adrenaline, and it gets the pulse racing. The anthropologist Helen Fisher from Rutgers University found that men release this cocktail of love rapture more rapidly than women. That's because they tend to have a more visual nature. In addition to making our palms palms sweat, these chemicals also make our hearts beat faster. So try to figure out if your crush has sweaty palms and a fast heart rate when they're around you. And notice if you have this physical response when you're near them too. Those love chemicals don't lie. Blushing. Have you ever blushed when you've been near your crush? This is a physiological response that you have no control over. It can be totally embarrassing, but it can also be very revealing if you spot this physical reaction in your crush when they're around you. Our blood flow rushes to our faces when we're attracted to someone. It's a primal way that the body tries to attract a mate. The flushing of the face mimics our appearance when we're at the ultimate point of arousal. One thing's for sure, you can't fake blushing, unless you use blush of course. But a real blush is uncontrollable, involuntary, and oh so revealing. Dilating pupils. They say the eyes are the window to the soul, and when you see something or someone you like, those windows get bigger. There are chemical processes happening in the brain that make our pupils dilate. As we've already learned, when we see something we like, our brains release dopamine. Not only does this make our palms sweat, but it also excites the nerve endings in our eyes, which makes them dilate. Sure, they also expand in dim light to help us see better, but it's well known that pupils dilate when we experience attraction. It works the other way too. Studies have shown that people are more attracted to those with dilated pupils, and they weren't even aware of the pupils being enlarged. So it's a subconscious response. You'll be staring at your crush's pupils so hard the next time you meet up.